Hello everybody, it's me from Burn Studio Auburn. It's been a bit since I've done a video and I thought it's time for me to do a little bit of something. I've been a little busy with kids camps, but today I thought I would show you guys a little bit because I know if you're like me, dying to go on vacation and it's hot. Like I'm sweating in here. I'm coming from my studio today. And I would love to go to the beach. So I thought, well, if we can't go there, maybe we'll paint it. So today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about seascapes and water and clouds and all of the things. This one's a very basic one that I did for kids camp, but you guys could really jazz it up how you want to. There's lots of options. Some of these are from my dear friend Carla, just to show you guys how if you are more advanced, you can come in and add some extra things that you would also find on the beach. My daughter, I'll have to show hers in the comments later. She added a beach towel. You know, a nice wine glass. And a flamingo and palm trees. Lots of fun. So the main thing when it comes down to creating a seascape is you have to decide on your horizon line. Do you want more clouds first? And again, our horizon line is where the sky meets the water or the earth. And then you want more clouds, less of that. I like to kind of have a little bit of a medium base. Our foreground, do you want your foreground to be more smooth and solid? You want it to come up even further, and then you could have palm trees, maybe with like even a little hammock in between. That would be cute. Other things you could add in the sand, footprints, starfish. Of course, you can add some birds in the sky. You can make it more cloudy. There's so many different things you need to do, but first, we're just gonna begin by sketching. So, I got kind of a little bit of a dirty canvas here. So I said the first thing that's important is coming in with your horizon line. And again, I'm using an 11 by 14 canvas here. So I like to come in just about a finger length up. You can give yourself a little mark. And that's just gonna come all the way across. I know some people, I'm gonna draw that a little darker so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Always start drawing light though, and then get it darker as you go. But I love to have a little bit of sky. I probably could have even had more there. But then I'm gonna do the same thing about a finger length from the bottom here, and that's going to be my foreground or the beach. So this one doesn't have to be straight. You can make it straight if you want to, but it could, you know, don't go on a roller coaster as you come across. But, you know, you could kind of make it a little bit more wavy. There we go. I erase my little lines there. So now I have my foreground, my middle ground, and my background. And again, this is my horizon line. So for the paint that we are going to be using today, we're going to be doing a lot of monochromatic colors. Mono, meaning one color, that you're going to come in here and add tints and shades. A tint is any color plus white. Shade is any color plus black. So we're going to be mainly using blue, but I love a good blue-green when it comes to the ocean. So I definitely added some green to my plate, and then I made a sand color. And so you can make your own sand color as well. You can use a little bit of some yellow, brown, and white. You might want to, I didn't add brown to my palette today, but you definitely could if you were especially wanting to add some more shadows and different things to your seascape. So I'm going to go ahead and begin here. I like to start in my sky, but I also like to just first start coming in and dampening the canvas. Whew, I'm sweaty, hot today. I wish I was on the beach. I wish I could get in the water. How about you guys? Well, I guess some of you maybe live next to the water. Here in Amarillo, Texas, there's not a lot of water choices. And again, I'm going to be painting fairly quickly, so pause me at any time if you're like, wait, what did she just do there? Just pause me and you can come back to it. So for my sky part, I want it to be a little bit more of a light blue. So I'm going to come in, and again, I'm using my medium flat brush, and I get quite a dollop of blue, and I double dip it. Yes, one time we can double dip these days into white. I'm going to be doing long strokes, back and forth. It's okay if it's not all the same color because the sky isn't all the same color, shade usually. back and forth, and cover that in. Now when you get to the horizon line, you might want to turn it. I call it painting skinny. Right there. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to start coming in with my water, and this is where I'm really going to have more monochromatic. I'm going to have it lighter blue, so I still have that light blue here, getting darker towards the horizon. So I can still do my same double dipping. Don't even have to clean my brush. And I can start in this area. I'm going to bring that water down. So even when you're painting, a lot of people think, well, I drew it there, I have to keep it there. I kind of want my water to come down just a little bit further there. It's a little bit darker than my sky, and that's okay. All right, now I'm about to be getting to my middle ground of my water, but I'm going to skip that because I'm going to come back up here with the blue again. Just blue this time. Strong blue. Now, if you are more of an advanced painter, I suggest doing these, going over this multiple times to really make those colors pop and be more strong. So that's regular blue. And then I'm going to bring that all the way down to the middle. You can kind of see, right now everything looks very striped. Okay. Now on this top part, right up here, I'm going to go ahead and add a tiny bit of black. So I'm going to put blue on my blue on my brush, and then just do a kiss of black, just a tiny bit. Can you see that there? Right there on that horizon. That makes the water look like, I'm going to add a little bit more black. That makes the water look way off in the distance. Now you notice I'm not super worried about my lines being straight. The water is always moving, so you can come in and do it however, you know, don't worry about it being straight. It is hot in the studio today. Woo! It's hot outside too. So you can bring that down a little bit further if you wanted to. Like I said earlier, it's kind of nice to do at least a couple coats on this to really make it pop. All right, so now I'm back to that middle section of my water. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse out my brush, dry it off, and I'm gonna double dip blue and green. Now I love blue-green. You could even come in and add a little bit of blue-green into the sky if you'd like to. Now right there I got a little too much green, but I'm gonna overlap that into the top part of the water and down into the bottom, and now I'm gonna add some more blue. You can also even add maybe a tiny bit of some white in there. And always remember, you want to keep your brush damp. You want to make sure it blends well. I think I'm definitely going to do a whole nother round on this one. Now, if you wanted to come in with a little bit of some green blue in the sky, I'm going to go ahead and mix it on my plate this time so I don't get so much green and white. I could add just a little bit. Kind of makes it look like there's even almost a storm off in the distance. You can make that even a little bit more casted. The key right now is making it soft and subtle and blending it back and forth, long strokes. Don't try to get too choppy with it, like you know, try to do some long strokes back and forth. Get my brush damp again. Looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to come back to this very forward part that's going to be a lighter blue. And I just went ahead and dipped my brush into white, just to make it a little bit lighter. You're like, hold on, that's too light for me. Well, add some more blue to it. What's the most fun about painting is exploring with the colors, especially when it comes to an ocean. You notice I'm starting to bring that up a little bit more into that green area. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean it out, and I'm going to add some more pure blue, maybe a little bit more black. Very top. And then I'll bring that blue on down into the green. So now the goal here is to try to make it not look like it's one stripe. You know, so you can come into the green blue a little bit, you can go back up. You can come down into the white area and then go back up. And if you start getting these little edges like this, make sure you go all the way across. Now, if you find that you're starting to pull the paint a little bit, you can let it dry for a while and then come back around and do another coat. I'm kind of going a little quickly for you guys for this video, but that does help. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more of the shade of blue right there along that horizon. Okay, so that's a great little start there. I'm going to rinse out my brush. And this is great for all ages. Like I said, I did this in my kids class, and I've done this with adults. Carla's come in and added extras with all of hers. So really be thinking about what else you can do. While this is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and come in with my sand. And like I said, yellow, white, a little bit of some brown works great here. I'm still doing that same little motion of going really far across. Kind of wish I would have added a little bit of brown to my palette, because I think that I could have added just some more. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to mix a little bit of black in with what my same color I already made. There we go. So when you get to that water line, it doesn't have to be super sharp, because we're going to add some frothiness coming in just a little bit. There we go. So I still have that yellow on my brush, and I'm going to get, again, a tiny kiss of black, just a tiny bit. And I could come in right here, and it doesn't have to be everywhere. If you are going to be adding things into your sand, this also works as your shadow color. There we go. And blend this part out just a little bit. I like that. It gives it a little bit more of a definite edge. So at this point, if you are a little bit more advanced, I would suggest maybe letting it dry, and you can go over it all again and really start finessing those colors. But I'm okay here. I mean, I definitely could see how I could come in with a little bit more. So what I'm going to do at this part is I'm now going to start coming in with the clouds. Sorry, I'm looking at my painting more than I'm looking at you guys. So you won't see my red face. I'm like, whew. I should have turned on the air conditioner in here before I started. Okay, clean brush. I've done a few cloud tutorials. So you could have the clouds billowing up from the horizon line going off. You could have streams of clouds. For younger kiddos, I want you to try to not do too much of the puffy clouds. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you get your clean, it could be also a round brush or a medium flat brush. And I get the white. And I'm going to start coming in from the side. And I'm going to roll it side to side, every time getting a little bit further out. Now, if you're doing this and you're like, oh, I got too much white on my, in my sky, rub it with your fingers, or go ahead and just pick up a paper towel and you can blot some of that away. A little bit more white, and I can come from the opposite side, rolling back and forth. This is a similar technique we're going to be using in the water. I could make a more of a billowy cloud where I'll roll it up a little bit more, but then I come back to that same little technique, back and forth. I especially like it when it gets a little dry, so I don't want to add water to it. I just let it stay dry and then I scrub it. And that's when I like it, because it's almost like you can see things in the skies. I'm going to bring a little bit more white over here in this top little corner. This time I could come down a little bit. See, I'm pushing it against the canvas like this. I could bring that all the way down. And after you've done this a little bit, if you do this one time and you're like, I don't know if I really like my clouds, well, you can always paint over it light blue again and let it dry and come back. You know, keep practicing. Have fun with it. I will say after you've done this a few times, then we're gonna come back and we're gonna add a bright white to it as well. Okay, so now we're coming into the water. Right in that green area is where I think the big waves are coming in. Now, I'm not gonna show you the real big, giant, fancy waves, but I can they're similar to the clouds, but more of, instead of flattening my brush against it, I'm gonna push it like this. So it's like SOS, and I'm not staying in the same areas. You see how I'm pulling that? And if you do work quickly, you'll notice that it's still gonna bring in some of those colors of that blue-green, which is great. So again, using the end and just kind of dotting around, but still kind of doing that where I'm turning my wrist and floating it. Now, if you wanted to have a little bit more bigger waves, you could come in underneath with your finger. See, like that? Creates a little bit more of a bigger wave look. Then I have to come right underneath it with some more little all the way across. Now, there would be, you know, probably some riffs out here too. Not a lot though. They would be a little softer. Come in and add just a few of those. The key for those is try to keep your lines parallel to your horizon line. It makes a little bit more sense, and not as much. It's gonna blend more into that blue background. Now in front, we're gonna add some more white. We're gonna do that same thing we did in the background, but then we're gonna do a few lines like that, where they just drizzle over. See that? And I don't blend it. A lot of people then want to keep coming in and blending it. Nope, stop, leave it. Have some white right up here next to the beach. And then I also even kind of do this little zigzag motion. It's not definitely, kind of like it's flowing. It has, I'm barely pushing the paint on there. I'm letting the paint do its thing more than me working too hard on it. So you can kind of see some of that there. Before, I think I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more on top of these little white caps. Not everywhere, just a little bit here and there. Could even do some little splashes that looks like they're coming up. You might want to switch down to your round brush for that. I'm just using the corner of my brush a little. There we go. That one got a little bit crazy, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. Can always smudge it again. Finger painting is fun, right? Feel like a kid again? Okay. All right, and then I talked about bringing in some more pure whites into the sky. Just along that top. You notice I kind of come in quickly and I let it be. Let it be. I'll just leave it there. Some pure whites in the sky. So now for you guys, this is where you would come in and do your extras. Like I said, definitely I'll show you some birds. You could come in with footprints and palm trees in here, beach towel. Again, there's so many different fun things you can do to add to make this special and unique. I just wanted to show you the basics. Now, if you did want to go ahead and put in a couple birds, you're definitely going to be using your small round brush here and the black, just a little bit. And when you come in with these birds, I like to have them all different sizes, and you're just going to do a swoop, doop, doop, up, almost like a check mark. Way off in the distance, that one is. I have one that's a little bit bigger. Try not to make them too perfect. That one's a little bit honky. Maybe a little bitty one. And I could even have more birds in there. So that is essentially it for my tutorial on seascapes today. I always push to be creative. So think of what can you now add, and make sure you share them with me because I want to see. So thank you guys again. Make sure you follow my YouTube channel and share your pictures with me, and I hope to see you soon.